What's up, gamers and collectors? DGC back with another video, and today we're talking about some pickups. Let's do it. Alright guys, obviously the elephant in the room, Alex, you were doing such a good job. Some personal life stuff happened, which I kind of don't really want to get into just because it's really, embarrassing if I'm being honest. So I just don't really want to talk about it. Just know that I'm fine, and I worked through it and resolved the issue, and yeah, so the channel will pick back up, kind of is what it is. As far as the streaming stuff goes, I still want to keep streaming. I'm going to keep streaming Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. I did play it once in between then for about an hour, so there's going to be a slight gap in which you guys may or may not have watched during the stream, but we will be continuing that until I beat it and then work our way into something else. But onto the pickups here. Super Smash Bros. Remix. I got my cart updated, which is in my N64. When I first showed it and did that little video, it was 1.41. Now we're at 1.5. They released 3 new characters, a few new maps. Banjo was the last big character, but then they hit us with a surprise and they gave us like one of the characters from Goemon as well as the third character that they added, which I believe is the final character, is the like the prototype characters of when they were originally making Smash Bros, where they were like stick figure characters. They added that to the game as well, and some new levels. Got the card updated. Very flawless procedure. Just send it in, the guy shipped it right back out, and it took like a week round trip, so it was pretty great. I definitely recommend picking up Smash Bros. Remix. Just make sure you get the 1.5 or later, depending on when you're watching this video. I assume there'll still probably be some updates at some point. Next up here, got this for a very good deal. This is so I'm kind of currently working on filling out back my Switch collection, all the exclusive games that are for the system. Currently, I want to say there's about 7 or 8 games to really round it out that I still want and need. Maybe 10. I'm going to say 10-ish that I still need to get to complete the library that I deem necessities to own for the system, right? Oh, actually 11, because I don't have Breath of the Wild anymore, so I need to re-grab that. But other than that, so about 11 games. I have them all like in my save for later part of my cart in the GameStop website. Pokemon Snap, I need to add Breath of the Wild to it, both the Mario parties, Paper Mario, some just the game. I've already played and beaten a lot of those, obviously, actually all of them, but I want to re-add them to the collection. And my logic on collecting Switch stuff now is that now you can still, and I'll show this one, Bravely Default 2. Really liked what I played of this. I played about 10 or 12 hours of it. I got it when it came out. And then also I got the little coasters and the poster. Was the Best Buy pre-order. Not necessary, but it was just with the purchase that I did. I like the art style. So the art style is actually one of the main reasons that I really like the game. I like the, I guess you would call it like a chibi art style. I like the gameplay. I like the leveling up system. I like kind of the dungeon-esque aspect of the way that some of the levels work in this. I mean, it's really a massive open world game, but, well, I wouldn't say massive, but it's an open world RPG, and then some of them are like houses and dungeons and caves and shit that you go in, kind of traverse through it. But either way, I really liked what I played, and I'm going to restart it at some point and actually beat it this time. And I really enjoy this series. I'd like to see them make another one after I beat this one. Obviously, I don't want it right away. I ended up getting this for a very good deal, which is why I was kind of talking about recollecting Switch now. So I got this. It was $17.99 with free shipping. That was the winning bid on it. And for me, that's $18 for a full-on good RPG Switch game. To me, that's a good price. So I'm re-adding back all the Switch games into the collection, and just trying to fill that out. I think for me, collecting the Switch now makes sense, at least for me, because you're going to get a nice copy. You can get your system updated and everything, before all the... it's not like a lot of Switch games need the updates, not like a PS4 or an Xbox, but, it's still nice to get the updates saved on your system and this and that. And it's just, for me, it's easier to get these games now while they're still prevalent on You might even find that on sale, you know, like GameStop for a while was selling that brand new for $30 just a couple weeks and a couple months ago. You know, so for me that's still even a good price at $30 for a brand new copy. But so yeah, I would say I have, let's just say I have a dozen Switch games left, give or take, to get, like No More Heroes 3 and just other random shit like that. And then I'll be done collecting the Switch, and then I can jump into 360 is probably going to be the next system that I retackle to get back my collection that I want, which is really not that many more games. I would say there's probably 20 to 30 more 360 games that I want to get. Really not that many, and then I can get the collection back to where I had it and where I want it. Basically just the exclusives. For me, I just feel like exclusives are like what's worth owning on each system, because it's like why you buy that system, to play the exclusive games on it. And then, you know, during that generation, 360 was kind of the better performer for most of the generations, so the games are going to play better on the 360. Next up, we have a pretty, too much crap here, pretty healthy stack of stuff from this little stack here, and you're going to see one of them because I can't hide it, Dragon Quest. All this was for about $150 from one store. First up, we have doing Switch, then probably 360, then N64 will probably be the system I collect for after that, which will probably really go into the later half of the year where I start collecting hardcore 64 again. N64 Super Mario, or Super Mario 64, got the nice N label on the top. Happy to add that back in the collection, very nice copy. Got two shoot 'em ups here for the Super. We got Super R-Type. Very good game, very good music. This is the first time I'm ever playing this, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is roughly about a $20 game. The Super Mario, roughly about a $30 game. Earth Defense Force, again, roughly probably about a $20 game. So right there off the bat, you're already at like 60-ish or $60, $70 of games here. And I got all this, like I said, for about $1.50. I think it was like $1.57 or something. So it was like almost $1.60. But yeah, so both those, very happy to add these to the collection. I love shoot 'em ups. This one, Earth Defense Force, is very hard. Super R-Type, I'm either just more familiar with R-Type, or it's just a little bit easier, but I got way further in this than I did in this. Both very good though. Good music on both as well. So we got, I don't often pick up a lot of PS2 games, but I'm kinda into the PS2 a little bit, because it's they're just so easy to find. PS2 is just everywhere. So obviously you already saw Dragon Quest, this is 8 for the PS2. This is the, you know, bigger collector-ish edition. It's supposed to have a demo of Final Fantasy, I guess that's 12, yeah, that'd be 12. It's not in here. The game itself is complete in this box. I don't really even want the box, just because it takes up more room on the shelf, and there's really no point. So if anybody like wants this box, for whatever reason, it's very nice. It's in very good shape. If you happen to want this outside box, offer something up to trade. It's probably not worth much, but it is in nice shape, and we can make some kind of trade, I guess. Because I don't want to throw it away, but I don't really want the box. I just want the actual, you know, normal PS2 game. Then we got, I guess we'll go over the RPGs first. So it was funny, when I was in the store, I had a fat stack of PS2 games, and I walked up front with it, and it was probably, I think it was like $450 worth of PS2 games, not even including those 3 cartridge games. And the guy looked at me, and I'm like, I want to do it, but I'm not going to do it. And he's like, yeah, probably not a good idea. So picked up Rogue Galaxy. He recommended out of the stack. He was like, you know, that's a really good RPG. If you haven't played that, you'll really enjoy it. This is, I want to say this is Level 5 did this. This was one of their last PS2 RPGs that they did. I think they also did Dragon Quest, if I'm not mistaken. So excited to give this a shot at some point. Dragon Quest, I know, is about 80 hours. I want to say this one's about 30 or 40, maybe a little bit longer. So that is a decent bit of time. But again, it's, you know, I'm good with it, because you get good dollar per you know, hour of fun value there. Now here's one that I'm very excited to play, and I actually played all 3 of these for about an hour. Well, all 5 of these, I played each one for about an hour, and recorded some gameplay that you're watching right now. This is Ys Arc of Nepotism. I'm very happy to have grabbed this. all these PS2 games are in mint condition. Whoever owned them prior had very, very good skills at not fucking up their games, which is much appreciated in the future. But just very good condition, and this is a really cool game. I really like the art style, I like the story. I'm very excited. Out of the three of these, I'm probably most excited to tackle that. Now, here is Mega Man X7 and X8 for the PS2. As a kid, I was a GameCube kid, and I did have a PS2, but it was really always like the Ratchet and Clanks, the Sly Coopers, your Crash Bandicoots, you know, just that kind of stuff was what, you know, and then like SSX and just the basic, usual like platformer kind of stuff was what my PS2 ended up being for me. I always wanted these games, but never enough to spend like, you know, 50 or ask for them for a birthday or a Christmas present. So finally saw two really nice copies of them and grabbed them. Now, one thing off the bat that really does irritate me: why do those spines not look right? Like, I like that style of just a nice, bland, simple Mega Man X7. And then I also like the style of that Mega Man X8. But they don't match, and that really bothers me. Now the spines, like, sitting next to each other, like, you could have at least done all of them in red or something, or all in black, I don't know. And then the actual fonts could have been the same, but it's not a big deal. So all that, again, was about $1.60, I think, we'll call it, which I feel as if it was a good price for that. Now, here, and if you have a keen eye, you might know what that little blue guy in the middle is there. Here is a bunch of games that I got from estarland. I went there and traded in some stuff, and then I spent a little bit of the money there. So first up, we got a Wii game here. This is Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles. And again, everything here is complete in box. You know how I roll. They didn't have the other Resident Evil game there. So again, I'd like to rebuild the Wii collection at some point, but I'm just very slowly doing that because I'm not in a rush to do it. Wii games are not even expensive really yet, which is great. I hope they don't get expensive, but you know, they're still reasonable. This is like a $20 or $30 game. Nothing outrageous, but a very good game. Very, very good. A lot of fun can be had with this one. Very fun. So happy to add that back into the collection. We got 3 360 games here. And I kind of hinted at one of these already. That is Viva Pinata. This is the nice limited edition of this game. I remember when this came out, I actually had pre-ordered this just because it was a Rare game. I didn't know what the game was really about. I just knew that it was Rareware. Back in the day, I was a Donkey Kong Country nut, and then obviously I wanted a 64 as a kid, never got it, and then they did a couple games. Well, I guess GameCube-wise they did. I guess all they did was Star Fox Adventure, and then half of Star Fox Assault is Rare, and then they did Grab by Ghoulies, Conquer, and then they switched over to the 360. So yeah, but I remember when they had this come out, and I was like, oh my god, Rare! I wanna and then that's how I got into being an Xbox kid, was really just because of Rare, and then now Rare is. Them poor boys, they're not even, it's not even Rare anymore at this point. They destroyed, Microsoft destroys everything that they buy. I like, as an adult now that I can like look at this with rose tinted glasses, Microsoft just destroys every company that they buy. They really do. Whether it be in gaming or just in technology in general, they just buy up, like Nokia, gone. Rare, gone. Bethesda, eventually at some point, just not going to be the same company. Just what Microsoft does. Speaking of Rareware, amazing game. I remember getting this game at launch with my 360, with Most Wanted, and then Perfect Dark. And I looked at my collection a while back, and I'm like, how do I not have my favorite 360 games? I don't know why I got rid of them. So these are now my forever copies of both these games. I'll never get rid of them at this point. Yes, they're on Game Pass, but to me, these are some of the best reasons to own a 360, right? And they look even better on the Xbox Series X, and I guess they're probably in like 1440p upscale on the Series S. I don't know how any of that works. to me the Series S is kind of stupid. I don't really see the purpose of it. I mean, it's basically just a streaming box, which is cool to some people, I guess. But to me, it's just kind of like, why do you even need that? But very happy to add both these to the collection. I still need to get Perfect Dark, and they had a couple copies there. Obviously, I want the limited edition version, which they did have them, but they didn't have the slipcover. So I was like, well, I don't really want that. If you don't have the slipcover, it's not a complete copy without that. So I'm good. Here's one game, and again, I believe this is level 5 as well. This is Eternal Sonata, also available at the same time on the PS3, so it's not exclusive. But the main reason I got this is because it is backwards compatible with the Xbox One and then the Series consoles. That's nice. But yeah, so it looks slightly better, I guess, maybe, or maybe it performs a little bit better frame rate wise on the Series X. So always wanted to play this game, so I grabbed it, and a very nice copy. So happy to add that to the collection. Then we got some PS2 games here. We got 2 PS2 games and then 5 OG Xbox games, and then we're done. Right here we got a really cool one that I regret getting it out of, letting it leave my collection. This is only on the PS2. In Japan, they had about 35 of these games, and then in America, we got one, which is a compilation. That being Sega Classics Collections. This has 10 updated Genesis / Master System games, really just mostly Genesis games, updated with kind of a PS2 era sheen on them as far as graphics go. And I'll read them off to you just because it's not too many. You got Outrun, Space Harrier, Virtua Racing, Monaco GP, Tant R, Golden Axe, Columns, Fantasy Zone, Bonanza Bros, and Alien Syndrome. Now, as I said, in Japan, if you somehow get a Japanese PS2 and want to get these, there's like 35 of these, which, for the love of God, why did Sega not give us shit like this? They could have had like a 4 set of these where it was like 4 compilations of these games out of the 35 games or whatever. And that would have been great. But they didn't. Whatever. At least we got some of them. On here, the games that, at least for me, are like worth playing and are actually fun. Outrun, Space Harrier, Golden Axe, and Fantasy Zone, to me, are really like the 4 really good games on here. I really enjoy them. This is very much worth it. You can get this for like $10 or $15. It's very, very, should be in your collection. It's very well done, in my opinion. Some people hate on it, but I really enjoy it. Here's another really cool PS2 franchise that I kind of would like to see come back, although I highly doubt it ever will. That being Maximo, and this is Ghosts to Glory. This is a spiritual successor to the Ghost and Goblins, Ghost and Ghouls series. Basically, in 3D on the PlayStation 2. This is the first one, and then the second one is Army of Zin, if I'm not mistaken. Or it could be the other way around, but I'm pretty sure Army of Zin is the second one. There was going to be a third game. It never happened. And then these are exclusive to the PS2. This one is cheap. Army of Zin this is about a 20-ish. Army of Zin is about a 40-ish. Again, neither are really that expensive, and both of them are very well worth it. They're very fun to play. Good kind of pick up and play game, and you can kind of come back to it kind of thing. And very good. It's Ghosts and Goblins, but kind of a, over the shoulder kind of that ways kind of view, but 3D. So a while back, I picked up Capcom Classics Collection Volume 2, and then I had Volume 1 for forever, and then I was streaming Taito Legends, I don't know, about a month or so ago. And so I was like, man, and then everybody in the chat was like, oh man, you don't have all these other collections. I was like, oh, you're right, I don't have all those other cool collections on the original Xbox. Now I do. So I picked up Atari Anthology. Again, at Estarland, they had about 8 copies of this. So this is not rare by any means. Either that or just nobody buys it. But this has 85 Atari games on here. So that's basically, I would imagine if there's a good Atari game, it's probably in this collection. If you, for whatever reason, really want to play some Atari games, this is probably the best way to play it, I would imagine. This is also on the PS2 for sure, but I just wanted it on the Xbox because between the two, the Xbox is better. Intellivision Lives. This is 60 games of Intellivision games on the Xbox. I'm pretty confident this is also on the PS2. Not sure, but I would imagine it probably is. I've never really played in television, if I'm being honest. It's basically just, as old as Atari. And I don't know. I guess at some point I will probably put those in and play them. So here's where, again, this kind of bothers me just like the Mega Man X's. Why do those spines not look the same? Now, this is Midway Arcade Treasures 1, 2, and 3. Again, all these are definitely on the PS2. I don't think they're on the GameCube. The spine on the first one looks cool, and then the spine on 2 and 3 also look cool. But why do they not look the same? Like, who at the company was like, you know what, we're gonna make them different. And then now that I'm even looking at it, right there where it says online enabled, and then that one also says it, but 2 doesn't. So I guess it just doesn't have online, which is interesting. So never mind. But it's just kind of like, it ruins the flow because it's like it doesn't have the online thing. One thing I am noticing though, and it's actually interesting. So this one is not 480p, and I'll read the games here in a minute. But then 2 and 3 are 480p. So I don't know why that's a thing. It's a good thing, that at least 2 of the 3 is 480p. But yeah, it would be nice if all of them were 480p, but whatever. So number 1 here has Spy Hunter, Defender, Defender 2, Gauntlet. Love me some Gauntlet. Joust, Joust 2, Paperboy, Rampage. Love me some Rampage. Robotron, Smash TV, Bubbles, Road Blasters, Blasters, Rampart, Sinistar, Super Sprint, Marble Madness, 720, Toolin, Clax, Splat, Satan's Hollow, Vindicators, and Root Beer Tapper. I've really only heard of... I like Spy Hunter. I like Defender. I like Gauntlet. Paperboy's moderately fun. Rampage I do like. So, there's some decent stuff on here that I would definitely play and want to enjoy. Here's Midway Treasures 2. This is more of like a Super Nintendo Genesis era stuff. This would be Mortal Kombat 2, 3, Gauntlet 2, Spy Hunter 2, Zybots, Narc. So, then we got Cyberball 2072, Timber, Total Carnage, Pit Fighter, Wizards of War, Xenophobe, Primal Carnage, Arch Rivals, Rampage World Tour, Cosmic Cruisers, but it's spelt weird, 90s. Everything was radical in the 90s. Championship Spirit, Hard Drive, and a Wacko. So between all these, I know Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, or no, I'm sorry, 2 and 3, not 1. Gauntlet, obviously, 2 I know. Spy Hunters 2 I know. Narc, I know that one. Total Carnage, I know that. Rampage World Tour, probably dope. I actually would really like to play that, especially 480p. With the Framemeister would probably look spicy. Hard Drive, and I do know that. And what else we got here? And then here's the really cool one. None of these were really... They had quite a few copies there, so I don't think any of these are like rare by any means. This is the last game here we're going to talk about. This is Midway Arcade Treasures 3. And this has San Francisco Rush, the Aztec Edition, Hydro Thunder, Super Off-Road, Badlands, Race Driving, Stun Runner, San Francisco Rush 2049, and Off-Road Thunder. There's a piece of tape on here I'm like trying to pick off. San Francisco Rush, the Aztec Edition. So I assume that's just kind of like an Aztec edition of San Francisco Rush. I don't necessarily remember that one, but I do love San Francisco Rush games. Hydro Thunder is probably my favorite arcade racer and probably my favorite arcade game. Oh, that tape's coming right off. Perfect. Super Off-Road, Badlands, I don't know either of those. Race Driving, I assume, is a continuation to Hard Driving. Stun Runner, I don't know that one either. San Francisco Rush 2049, I do know that and love that game. And then Off-Road Thunder, I do know that and love that game as well. I would really like to play these. I'd be curious to know if... Because Off-Road Thunder is on the Dreamcast, Hydro Thunder is on the Dreamcast as like official releases. San Francisco Rush 2049 is also a Dreamcast official release. So I'd be curious to know if these are the same versions, or if these are the arcade versions ported to the Xbox, or if, are those the arcade versions that were ported to the Dreamcast, or if they're just straight up like actual Dreamcast ground up makes of them. I don't know. I have no idea. Someone correct me in the comments if you happen to know. But I'd be curious. I'd be interested to know because I do love these games. Midway, basically all the Midway IP went to Warner Brothers, if I'm not mistaken, for the most part. So a lot of these games they could make again, and they just choose not to. Like, we haven't gotten a Gauntlet game, and shit, what was the last Gauntlet game? I think it might have been, I don't know, maybe PSP was probably like the last Gauntlet game that I can remember. So it's been a long ass time. I'd love a new Gauntlet game. I think that would be a badass game if they made it multi-plat to where it could like online play with everybody, and they made it like 4-player. I think that'd be cool, and I think people would buy that. But either way, those are all the pickups that I got here recently. Sorry for the brief stint of me not being here on the channel. It won't happen again. Just some weird life stuff that happened, and I just kind of had to get that situated. I'm not going to go into it, but streaming and stuff will continue again, and that was all the pickups. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any input on any of these games or any knowledge that I didn't convey properly, definitely be sure to leave that in the comments down below. Be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe button, the ring the bell button, all the buttons. Hit all the buttons. And as always, peace out for now, guys. Till next time.
Come here, you mother...